Today we're talking about the man that is known as Bobby Burns.
So there's this guy you may or may not have heard about. His name is Bobby Burns.
We aren't only talking about Bobby Burns himself, but we're also talking about his terrible content.
Bobby Burns made a video criticizing Shane Dawson, and then Shane Dawson made a response video to that criticism, which is
creator impressions or whatever. So basically he's just blatantly ripping off someone else's format, and he's doing it in a way to slither in his little...
Bobby Burns has moved to LA, is working with Shane Dawson, somehow became best friends with him, and also, well, he completely killed his channel.
Bobby Burns is a YouTuber who has recently been criticised by so many other creators on this platform in recent months. From Markie to Standard Procedure to no fuckers to even me, we've all critiqued this man for his actions on his channel in the last few months. And for that, I have to say something that is much harder than actual criticism. I have to admit that I was wrong in some of the things that I said about Bobby Burns. Now, if you're unsure on what I'm talking about here, you don't know who Bobby Burns is. Basically, Bobby Burns is a YouTuber who is well known for his extremely well-produced commentary videos. He's specifically known for his video on YouTube manipulation, YouTube Red, and his videos with Shane Dawson. But in recent times, his channel has taken a massive downfall after receiving backlash for changing his content completely to what appeared to be vlogging. And I was definitely one of the biggest critics of Bobby. I used to love his old content, and I was thoroughly disappointed when I saw the switch up in his content style. In my video titled Bobby Burns How He Became Terrible, I addressed multiple issues I had with Bobby, specifically with his content, but also with a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of things I just think he's not doing right. Now, I do still believe that a lot of the critiques I made in the video about Bobby Burns are still valid today, especially about the hypocrisy involving his manipulation video and him being hypocritical about having sponsors in your video. But I don't want to talk about that today, because ultimately the video I made about Bobby Burns wasn't specifically about them hypocrisies. It was mainly me complaining about the fact that he had changed his content format. And obviously I wasn't the only one to critique Bobby for changing his style. There are plenty of other people on this website that have made videos on Bobby and what is going on with his channel. And there isn't necessarily anything wrong with that. But lately, Bobby has actually been low-key addressing the critique videos. He's recently been uploading videos where he appears to fight his older self, Bobby Burns 4.0, in a struggle over the change of content. And the clip I'm now about to show you is basically where I started to begin to change my mind about Bobby Burns.
Get fucked. Get it to yourself, what? 5.0, get fucked.
Now, I do understand what a lot of people are going to be thinking at this very moment of time. They're going to be thinking, oh no, another YouTube music person. But what I can genuinely credit Bobby for here is the fact that it isn't just another generic diss track. It's actually something which has creativity put into it, and it does seem quite artistic. In fact, he did continue this style of video when he uploaded a video titled Help Me, in which the new supposed Bobby Burns appears to be bloody and beaten up after he addressed his channel issues. It seems like he's being forced to condemn himself back to his old commentary style. And this is another key moment of where I did think to myself, well, maybe I could be wrong. Because after watching a lot of defense videos of Bobby Burns and also watching videos from Bobby Burns himself, I've just come to believe that forcing somebody to make content they don't want to make is just kind of wrong. Considering he has made videos about his mental health, I just think it's wrong, and for that I genuinely do apologise. I don't apologise for some of the criticisms that I have made, but for trying to get him to go back to his old style genuinely was kind of wrong of me, and I do think a lot of creators need to kind of look at this and think, yeah, maybe he's good doing what he's doing. Now, I haven't actually spoken about the moment I actually had that full realization that I need to make a follow-up, I need to state my views, because they have completely changed, and it did come from Bobby Burns' latest video. His last video was titled YouTubers Can't Change, and at this point before watching this video, I was beginning to enjoy Bobby Burns' content again. I was still wanting him to revert to commentary, but I was still wanting to watch pretty much anything he put out. But to be honest, when I first saw this video that he had put out, I did think to myself that it's just going to be him complaining and whining about the people that have critiqued him in the last few months. But fortunately it wasn't that, because this video is genuinely really good and it feels really nice to say that. The video starts off with Bobby in a corner of his room, pretty much appearing to be tired, trapped and had nowhere to go. And the reason for this is because his alter ego, evil Bobby Burns, was supposedly trapping him in the room so he couldn't escape. And now I feel like this is a perfect analogy for how Bobby must be feeling right now. Nowhere to go and is being forced to do what he doesn't want to do. And it's pretty much confirmed here.
Okay, just come out of this room. Please. Need some water.
Can't let you out, or you'll try to run.
No. Run? No. No.
Oh, really?
Of course not. Where would I be without you, Nasty? Why would I run?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I swear. I learned from 5.0's mistakes. I'm not gonna do the same thing he did.
And how do you plan on doing that?
By sticking to what I know. 5.0, he went out of his way and he fucked everything up. He went out of his comfort zone. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make the same videos from 2017 that everyone wants, and I'll make everybody happy. I promise. Just please let me have some water.
Now you can see there's been a lot of passion and creativity put into this, and I'm genuinely so glad that I was wrong. And it feels weird to say that, but I'm glad I was wrong because it was a creator that I'd lost faith in, but I've now pretty much regained faith in him. Now Bobby Burns is somebody that has inspired me to move forward in my content in the past, and I genuinely meant no ill will with my critique I made on him, and obviously a lot of it still stands, but I'm just glad that I've changed my mind on this. I think this video is very artistic and it just in general portrays the whole situation very well. If anything, you can see the representation of that evil Bobby Burns is all of the people making videos on him and all the people having a go at him for changing his content style, and Bobby in that appears to be scared and too afraid to change from the style. Now obviously I said this video is the moment that it clicked for me that I needed to change my opinion, and at this point I was gradually changing my opinion very slowly, but there was a specific clip that I'm now about to play which really made me think, wow, I really was wrong.
Bobby, Nasty's been feeding you a lot of criticism. And some of it's been good and useful, like telling you to avoid going down the path that I did. Yeah, vlogs aren't your forte. No, they're not. But at the same time, he's also been feeding you a lot of bullshit. Don't stay in your comfort zone. That's how art dies. If you only ever stick to what you know, you'll literally never grow. Get out there, make stuff you love. You can do it. Nasty said I can't do that. He said if I do that, I'll fuck everything up. Of course he did. Don't listen to Nasty. He just wants your channel to get views. He doesn't care about your mental health. He doesn't care about your life. He just wants your channel to make money. It's not exactly the person you should be getting advice from. Okay. You have to find a balance of self-expression and consistency. You have to care for yourself and the audience. It's the only way this is gonna work.
Now what he says here in my eyes is almost spot on. I don't agree with everything he said, but it did change my mind on him. Firstly, the things I don't agree with, I don't believe people are wanting him to revert back to his old style for money and views. I just think people want him to revert back to it purely out of nostalgia. I personally wanted Bobby Burns to return to his old commentary format because that was the Bobby Burns I grew watching. I've seen his channel grow from 100k to around 800k purely based on commentary. I understand the frustration of Bobby Burns' fanbase. I understand if they're going to get annoyed with this video. I understand my own personal frustration, but he is right here. If people don't change how their art is or allow their content to evolve, that's not going to work very well. The great artists in the world aren't famous because of them sticking to what everyone knows them for. They're famous because their artistic visions cross certain boundaries. Look at Vincent van Gogh, for example. In his time of when he was alive, he was ridiculed throughout the art world, but now in the 21st century, he's admired as one of the greatest artists of all time because he basically stepped over the boundaries of what art was meant to be at. Now obviously I'm not comparing a YouTuber to one of the greatest visionaries of all time, but what I am saying is that we shouldn't force somebody to do what they don't want to do because it can limit evolution, and genuinely we could see something very good come out of Bobby's channel. Now genuinely I'm glad he didn't respond to all the criticism with some ranty just normal video. I'm glad that he's gone down the artistic route and the dark visuals are genuinely really interesting to see. Admittingly, I'm not a fan of the content he's been producing before these videos, such as his vlogs, but genuinely I just don't need to watch them. Now a few people may say, well, you criticize a lot of people, why are you not criticizing Bobby? Well, I don't exactly criticize somebody for being a vlogger. If Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Tana Mojo just did vlogs and they didn't do anything necessarily wrong, I wouldn't make videos on them, I wouldn't critique them, because if that's their niche, making vlogs, I haven't got a problem. But the thing is, they are very problematic with the things they actually do in the vlog. I haven't got a problem with a format, I have a problem with what they do in the format. And in fact, this whole ordeal that Bobby Burns is going through, I genuinely do relate to it right now. Because personally, I do enjoy making critique videos, I do enjoy talking about YouTube drama, what's going on in the stratosphere of YouTube, and also I enjoy talking about conspiracy theories and all them sort of topics, but sometimes I do see a few people complaining in my comment section. A lot of these complaints in the comment section will say something like, you shouldn't have covered this topic, you should have covered this specific topic, you should stop covering YouTube drama. And when I see these comments, despite being a mass minority, I still get quite anxious about it, and I understand now where Bobby Burns is coming from. If you're a creator, I'm sure you can relate to this and what Bobby Burns is currently going through with his channel. So my message to Bobby Burns is, if he's watching this, do what you want to do, and I was genuinely wrong for telling you to change back to your old format. There are still some critiques I made of Bobby which I still think are valid, and you can go back and watch my old video if you do want to see them. In general, the question I can ask here, is it worth forcing yourself to make something you don't want to do over the pursuit of happiness and over, just in general, keeping your mental health in check? And the conclusion I've come to is that the pursuit of happiness is far worth more than being forced to make content you don't want to make. And despite this, there is always going to be the question of what actually happens to Bobby Burns' channel. Because despite my kind words, you cannot ignore the fact that he is losing 500 subscribers per day on average, and these are very scary statistics, and I do genuinely worry for his channel, because my words aren't going to change it. I wish they would, but they just won't. The reality is that most of his audience are going to want his old content back, and I can understand that. I'm not saying you shouldn't want it. I'm just saying it's best not to try and force somebody to do something they don't want to do. Because it does end up in videos like his breakdown video, and despite the hypocrisies in the video compared to his manipulation video, I still do wish him the best. And now there is a specific clip that I want you guys to see from his breakdown video, which maybe will give you even more of an understanding of where Bobby is coming from.
Doing YouTube is insanely stressful, and that isn't talked about enough. I don't think people acknowledge how mindfucky it can get to make videos for this platform. If you aren't careful, you can completely lose yourself in it. One of my favorite YouTubers, H3H3, made a video a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month, I don't know how long ago it was, talking about pretty much the exact same thing happening to him. He talked about how he didn't like who he had become, how he was so obsessed with YouTube it kind of took over his entire life and he didn't do literally anything else. That's me. And because of that, I think these videos have suffered. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I feel weird about the videos I've been uploading. I think they're good. I'm proud of them, but they're not me.
Now, criticism on the website is something that every single content creator needs. It's something that grows your channel and helps you grow your videos and become a better creator and in general, a better person. So I do feel like we should still critique Bobby and we should still critique everyone, including myself. But some of the criticism I have personally made wasn't needed. If you're going to make content on this platform, make sure that the content you make is something you're passionate and happy to make. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to drive yourself insane. I make videos in which I enjoy making, and I hope you guys enjoy them too. Despite this video being quite different, I do believe that making content you want to make is the best route to go, and I do hope Bobby Burns continues this, and I genuinely hope his channel gets revived. Despite the numbers on his channel, maybe eventually he will have a breakthrough and discover a new niche. Now, I do understand that this video was very different to what I usually make on this channel, but I just felt like I needed to address this situation because I did make a mistake in my Bobby Burns video. I feel like right now a lot of creators, including myself, have been way too harsh on Bobby, and I'm just trying to give some kind words at this point because kind words can go a very long way, especially for a creator like Bobby Burns, who clearly has gone through a mass change in the last few months. In conclusion, Bobby Burns, I do hope things pick up for you. I do hope you discover a niche that you want to do. And I know YouTube is brutal, but that is the platform we're all on in the modern day. I don't know what the future holds for him, but I will continue to watch his content. But I would love to know your guys' thoughts. Do you think Bobby's content is going to evolve and he's going to turn into a better creator and he's going to revive his channel? If you want to let me know your thoughts, just let me know your thoughts at Twitter at iNabberTV. And you can also let me know your thoughts at Instagram at iNabber. And before I end the video, I am going to thank my Patreons. Big thanks to Alice, Anna, Arista, Bugger Badger, Charmskull, Creepmaster Rob, Cubes Cyber, Dinky Dino, Evelyn, Henry, Inochi, Jay, Jessica, Catherine, Candidi, Leslie, Logan, Lisa, Majestic, Michaela, Mary, Maya, Mel, Michael, Michelle, O'Reilly, Rachel, Regan, Rockstar, Sadie, Scrubby, Celestina, Sophie, Speedbird, Trishan, Uncle Tid, Zero Files, Zombie Files, and Mary. It's getting more and more of a mouthful, but thank you so much for pledging to the Patreon. It genuinely does mean the world. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where we're going to go back to our old normal format. Peace.